All right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with another video, but this time it's on Bryan Johnson himself, the anti-aging slave. I call it the artificial anti-aging slave, man, because that's what he is. Anyways, we're going to do a review of the artificial anti-aging slave himself, Bryan Johnson, who's faking it. And I can prove it in this video, it's a fake. All right, this looks like a beautiful filter he's using here on this picture as well. Anyway, so the artificial anti-aging slave says, Bryan Johnson, how to live longer than 99% of humanity. Let me get this straight. He's gonna tell you or teach you how to live 99% longer than humanity when the slave diet and exercise had diminished these slaves. He's going to use a slave diet and slave exercise, slave labor, to make you live longer than 99% of the humanity, bro. This is fucking stupid. Look at him, man. This is filters and injecting like fucking Botox in his face and a bunch of shit and makeup. All right, let's review this video. This is ridiculous.
Hi, friends. Today we're going to talk about the three...
Hi, friends. How are you? How you doing? Look at that rubber face. That isn't his natural face, that's for sure. If it was, then he'd look natural. He looks very artificial. Okay. So I guess that's how we age. Makeup, inject our face with, Botox and fat and a bunch of weird stuff and whatever, and go to the dentist and have him put on these veneers and whatever. Yeah, okay. And this hair, this a toupee or something? What is this, sutures?
Our laws of health. We are going to accomplish in the next 5 minutes the basic health habits that are going to make you feel the best you've ever done. I'm not going to get into the scientific details. I'm just going to tell you what to do, and you're going to do them because you know what? You know they work. Let's start. Number one, you're going to reframe your identity that you are a professional sleeper. That means you're not going to sleep when it's convenient.
Okay, I would definitely agree with number one. Sleep is very important. It really is important. But here's the problem. If you're eating a slave diet and doing these weird exercises, inflaming your body, inflammaging, we call that inflammaging. Eating toxic food, vegan food, inflammaging your cells, and exercising inflames you even more, will cause you not to sleep well at night. Yeah, especially these energy foods that you're eating, like carbohydrates, which are drugs. That's for the slaves. The slaves ate these high energy carbohydrate diets because they had to work. They had to, what do they call that? Milling. They were milling. Treadmilling. They were treadmilling. So they fed them a slave energy diet. Yeah, because it grows everywhere in nature, that shit. Drugs. They're called plants. Yeah, they didn't feed them. Why would they feed them meat? They wouldn't have enough. That doesn't produce the kind of energy that drugs do, like plants.
Or when your show is done, or when you're finished.
Remember, you got to squeeze productivity out of these slaves. Anyways, let's continue.
Playing with your friends. You are going to set a bedtime and meet that bedtime every single day, and you're going to follow some health habits. So there's 5 things I want you to do. Number 1 is eat earlier and lighter in the day. So for example, if your bedtime is at 10 p.m.
Eat earlier and lighter. Well, I would definitely say there's a good time to eat. It's good to eat early in the day. Your natural diet as a carnivore: raw meat and raw organs, raw eggs. If you have that, I mean, whatever you have access to, raw milk, and raw fish. Yeah, if you can eat these things, that'd be tremendous. That would be a tremendous benefit to longevity. And the less you do as far as laboring, the longer you shall live.
Have your last meal of the day at 8 p.m. and then try 7 and then 6 and then 5 and try pushing it back earlier and earlier and watch your sleep improve. Find your right timing, but you will learn that the earlier and lighter you eat, the better you will sleep.
Number two, he is on TRT. So remember, vegan diets are going to put your hormones off kilter, which is going to interrupt your sleep. It's going to make it really hard for you to sleep properly. But he's counteracting that artificially by taking steroids called hormones. He's taking hormones. He's also, believe he's also taking stem cell therapy as well for any other problems that he's suffering from the vegan diet. So there you go. If you're not doing those things like Bryan Johnson, then of course that's not going to work for you. But like I said, if you're doing what he's doing, then yeah, maybe these things. But you're definitely going to age, accelerated inflammation. Yeah.
Is you need to have a wind down routine, which means your body needs to be physically ready to sleep. You can't.
Yeah, and how is it going to sleep if your hormones are off? That's why people become obese. It's a hormonal imbalance. So you're eating toxic vegan diet, your hormones are off kilter, off balance, and then you're going to have problems sleeping. That's why people have problems sleeping.
Not just work up until the last minute. Lay your head on the pillow and expect great sleep. The body needs to adjust itself from an aroused, high energy, ambitious state, whether you're socializing or working.
Listen to what he says, high energy aroused state. Yeah, you don't want to be in a high energy aroused state. Well, you definitely want to be on animal energy like animal fat, but you definitely don't want to be on vegan carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, man, there's glycation involved there. You're going to destroy yourself.
A calm down, ready to sleep space. Now you can fill this hour, where your wind down routine is going to be 1 hour from your bedtime. You can fill it with breath work, meditation, reading a book, going for a walk, but you need to be in a relaxed, calm state, screens off, getting your body ready. Number 3 is the lighting in your environment matters.
It's not going to work if you're on a toxic diet and your hormones are off balance. And it's not going to work.
A lot. So turn off screens. I have a red light bulb in my house and a lamp. We just have red light in the house. It's amazingly effective.
Of course, he needs to use something artificial. Red light. Why not just use sunlight? Why does everything have to be artificial with him? This artificial diet, artificial lighting, artificial hormones, artificial machines to do his abs, artificial Botox face injections, artificial makeup, artificial hair, artificial everything, artificial this laboring, exercise, using a man-made machines, pushing them back and forth, doing weird stuff. Bro, he is not doing anything natural. Why? Why is he not doing anything natural? Does not natural anti-age you? Or does doing things artificially somehow have something to do with anti-aging? That makes absolutely no sense. Everything artificial ages you. It's a known fact. It's a known fact.
Calming things down and making everyone very tired. Number 4 is consistency matters a lot. Your body loves routine. So if your bedtime's at 10 p.m., try.
Yes, I would agree. It's consistency is extremely important when you're going to bed, and eating a natural diet. Yeah, be consistent doing that.
To be
Stop eating fake food.
in bed every night, plus or minus 30 minutes, no more. When you deviate, the body gets confused and you're not going to have as good a sleep. Number 5 is avoid stimulants, for example, like caffeine. So if you go to bed at 10, be mindful, you may want to have your last cup of coffee before noon or so. So by the time your bedtime arrives, you're good to go. All right, so this is the first one. This is the most important one. Sleep is your number 1 life priority. When you feel well, you're going to want to also exercise, which you also know from life experience. When you exercise, you feel great. So now you're going.
No, you don't. He's full of shit, man. No slave that labored feels good. No slave out there that labors in any job feels good exercising on their job. Okay, dude? What they get is inflammation, and they don't feel good. They don't feel good. Maybe because you're only slaving for about, 30 minutes there, maybe an hour? I don't know what it is. But you slave at a job for 6 hours a day, and then you think you're going to go home and do more slaving? Exercise? You got to be crazy. People work out there. I could think this guy's living in La La Land. But anyways, exercise is not good for you. Now, I didn't say it was totally bad. Regenerating now, that's something different. That's not based on exercising constantly. That's you do an exercise. That could be, it's based on periodic, so you can regenerate new stem cells.
going to start an exercise protocol if you haven't already, and you're going
But
to.
here's the thing: if you regenerate new stem cells and you eat a fake artificial diet like him, you're fucked. That's why people they do. Well, I'm gonna starve myself and try to regenerate some stem cells by starving myself. You don't really regenerate much there. You regenerate some stuff because you lost cells, so your body tries to restore them. But here's the thing: if you eat a vegan diet trying to restore them, you're fucked.
Do two simple things every day. Do 30 minutes of exercise, and that can be something like swimming, running, biking, hiking. It can be strength training. That's a basic starting point. And now, of course, we'll jump into more advanced things in other videos, but it's really
Okay.
establishing the basics. And then two,
The basics, yes, Brian.
is you want to be moving throughout the day. So, for example, every 20, 30 minutes or so, I get up from my desk, whether I'm standing or sitting, I'll stretch or I'll do a little exercise, I'll go for a little walk, but moving throughout the day. There's an infinite rabbit hole.
Yeah, how many people have time to do that? They're busy on their labor jobs, laboring away, slaving away in their labor jobs, and then what? They should eat a vegan diet too on top of that. Okay, yeah. How is that going to anti-age these people, these slaves like you? Now you've made yourself into one of them, a slave.
On what to do for exercise, and that's great, and we're going to cover it, yes.
Exercise, it says in NCBI, there's no correlation, does not show any benefits to longevity whatsoever. There's no correlation. It makes you fit. It makes you better at doing those movements, whatever it is you're doing there, gymnastics, something, swimming, jumping. It makes you better, what we call fit. But has nothing to do with health. Fit has nothing to do with health. A fit doesn't make you healthier. It just makes you fitter at doing that. See what I mean? What makes you healthier? Your natural diet as a human.
Also, the daily practice of being active in both an activity and throughout the day is the power law of activity. All right, number 3 is diet. Now, this is the most complicated of them all because I guess I speak from personal experience. Food is a place we go to self-soothe, and it's also a source of addiction and all sorts of emotional problems. I have been there, and I know how complicated food is. I was trapped, and so the reason why it's number 3 is because if you're well rested and you exercise, we all know the feeling we have of wanting to eat well. So it's nice to have those two pillars in place versus if you're not well rested and you're not exercised, it's so much easier to be naughty. Number 1 is try to never rely upon your willpower. So if you have a particular risk zone, let's just say it's 7 p.m. that's exposed to, let's just call it cookies, decide.
Cookies. Right away he's promoting cookies. If you have this thing, willpower, you want to eat cookies. Cookies, they use lard to make cookies. To make these pastries, they use lard. Well, lard may be healthy, yeah, but that's just like your mom giving you a piece of bread with butter on it. You really want the butter. You don't want the bread.
You are a person that does not eat cookies at 7 p.m. because if you wait to make the decision at that moment, you will certainly eat the cookie. Now, that was true for me.
Humans shouldn't be eating any cookies whatsoever.
So never put yourself in a situation where you're relying upon your willpower. Build systems and make commitments ahead of time. Okay, now number 2 is trying to avoid overeating. Now, I'll tell you from my personal experience, this is impossibly hard to do. Of course, any one of us can say it, but we all know that we just can't control ourselves in those moments. So I did something where I fired evening Bryan. This is the version of me from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. who would unquestionably overeat no matter what every single day. I had to fire him. I had to basically make a rule of my existence that I, as a human, do not consume food between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. no matter what I say. That's the kind of extreme I had to go to control my overeating habits. Now, I think a lot of us probably share similar behavioral profiles, so this solution may not work for you, but the point is, this is a struggle. It's real. And so the invitation is for each one of us to try to find a system. For me, it was just saying I never trust myself to to make the right decision in that moment. And so systems far exceed willpower. In addition to avoiding bad foods, also I want you to avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. Okay, number 3 is a Mediterranean-like diet. You want to try to have, healthy fats, healthy proteins. Trying to generally be on the right track is good enough. You don't need to wrestle over every calorie and every macro. It just, there's diminishing return. We live in a society where health is impossibly hard. Controlling our own personal behaviors is...
Yes, health is impossibly hard in our environment because the government doesn't want you healthy. They promote being unhealthy. And they don't give you access to many healthy foods. The foods that are healthy, they restrict access to them even. Some they give you health, some there's healthy food out there, but they label them as being unhealthy. They try to scare you, put fear into you by telling you that something healthy is unhealthy for you. And things that are extremely healthy, they deny access to these healthy foods. So what kind of world do you live in?
impossibly hard.
But there's plenty of access to unhealthy food, and they've promoted it, trying to tell you that something toxic is healthy. How can something toxic be healthy for you?
I have felt hopeless and helpless my entire life in this regard, just until the past few years where I actually have the systems. Now, in this video, I don't expect this to solve things.
Yes, he has the systems. Not to eat anything natural. Don't eat anything natural or drink anything natural. Do not do natural things out in nature. You understand me? Don't do any of those type of activities. Be out in nature and do things that are natural. Be in a natural environment in nature, and eat natural food, human food that is natural to humans. Eat everything that's unnatural. Eat more unnatural man-made foods, engineered foods, processed tablets, foods, powders, whatever. Do unnatural exercises that are, moving man-made objects, man-made, not of nature. Don't do anything that is in nature. Me personally, I don't get it. It doesn't work for me, man. Whatever. Inject yourself with these plant genetics, these hormones, which are plant genetics, testosterone, whatever he's taking there, and HGH and a bunch of stuff. And then inject your face like Botox and fat, whatever. Do all these weird things, wear makeup and do some artificial things to your face, to your teeth, and everything else in your hair. Yeah. But not of nature. Don't try to anti-age yourself from the inside out naturally, within nature and eating a natural diet. Okay. It's the opposite of everything that is and would make you younger. And everything he's doing is the opposite. It makes you older, accelerates aging. Okay.
For you. In fact, you know what? Tonight, or maybe right now, during this video, maybe you're eating junk food. That's okay. I understand. The point is, we're building a community. We're trying to change the norms. We're being healthy.
We're building a community. We're trying to change the norms. You haven't changed anything. You're eating artificial food, not for human consumption, right? Artificially. These pills and things, all these toxic foods you're eating, and chocolates or whatever else you're doing there. You're using red light therapy. It's artificial. You're doing all these artificial things, your abs and everything, these machines you're using, and then lifting and moving these man-made objects and things, artificial man-made objects, and just doing everything artificial it is not anti-aging. I have no clue what he's talking about. It makes no sense.
Is the right way to live. You're not going to feel
and he does so much cosmetic work to his face and his hair, some of it to his body. This cosmetic work, again, is artificial. It's not natural. What he's doing is not natural. So he's not really anti-aging. It's fake. It's fake.
Pressure to do these self-destructive behaviors. And there's power in you and me making these very small decisions. So if it helps you in your moment of torment, when you're sitting there deciding, do you do it or do you not? Do it for the team. Do it for all of us. Because if you...
Yes, do it for me, the team and everything. Eat these toxic foods and do everything artificial foods, toxic artificial foods that are not for human consumption. Do these artificial movements. Do all these things, guys. Eat these pills. Do this. Do that. Do all the things I'm showing you artificially. Do it for the team, man. Come on, guys. Do it for the team. Like as if nobody's doing that. Running on treadmills, pushing these machines in gyms, and eating these artificial vegan diets and whatever the fuck they're doing there that's toxic. It's as if they're not doing that. They've been feeding this and making slaves do that for ages. How did it turn out for these slaves? How did it turn out for them? Eating a slave diet and running on these slave machines and doing exercise, working in the field, picking cotton and running on the treadmill, running on treadmills, milling and doing all these. How did it work for them? So think about that. How did they make them live longer? And Bryan Johnson is trying to convince you that slaving is going to make you live longer. What?
Do it, others will do it. And we know this when
We already know that. If you do it, others will do it. They are doing it. They're going to a gym, lifting man-made weights, exercising, inflammaging, and they're eating these vegan diets now, which are extremely toxic. They're eating them all the time now. That's the cause of all humanity's problems. What are you talking about? How can that be normal for you and anti-age you? If these are the problems, everything that culminated this society, that created this society from eating a slave food diet and doing slave, nobody wanted that. The reason people harvested these slaves, it was so they didn't have to do it. You understand me? The slaves would go out and catch them the natural food and they would eat it. And they would feed the slaves the slave food diet. And the slaves would do all the manual labor for them so they wouldn't age and work so hard, so they can live a nice, relaxing, unhinged or whatever, inflammatory lifestyle. They didn't want to inflame themselves constantly like the slaves. So how did that work out for them? Not very good, dude. Not very good. Not very good, dude. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired making this video. I would make it more descriptive, but you get the idea.
we cave, we weaken the entire system. Wherever you're at,
Yes, you're weakening your entire body. Doing this weakens you. The Mongols, what did they eat? They lived over 200 years. That same army roamed. It roamed from 1200 to 1400 between Europe and Asia. It was the same army. They never changed. It was the same guys for 200 years. So you're telling me what's going on there? 200 years. So how old were they when they first started? And how old were they after they stopped doing that and they retired from doing this? How long did they live? See what I mean? And what were they eating? What were they doing? Natural things.
no matter what your circumstances are, we can do this. These health habits will make you the happiest, healthiest person you've ever been.
No, they're not. They're gonna make you very unhappy. They're gonna give you mental problems, physical ailments, and all that. You're gonna be crying like a baby.
First, master the basics, and then we get to play with all the cool new things we'll discover together.
What? This is one of those kind of fucking people that you really hate in life, man. You see these fuckers in society, and you just want to fucking, man, I don't know. I'm sorry, going off on a tangent here. You just fucking promote this bullshit, this garbage, just like his stupid programs he sold and ripped off people. It's almost as bad as that longevity doctor. I forget his name, David Sinclair. What a piece of shit.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, don't fucking do it. Fuck off, man. What a piece of shit. Look at him. What a piece of shit.
Don't do it.
What did he put? Cotton in his jaw? He put cotton balls in there too? Don't. I'm telling you guys, don't do what he's doing, and you'll be a lot more happier for it. See you in the next video. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one. Look, he's promoting, fuck it, I built the perfect meal. He built the perfect fake meal. I've already done videos on this. How to heal your broken, how to quickly, I can fix my broken ankle. You can't. You can't. He broke his ankle because he's weak. Because the diet, the food that he's on, weakened him. Get it? It causes you to be weak. That's why you break your bones. They become brittle. That's what happens on these toxic diets and exercise, whatever else you're doing there, by eating these toxic diets. And they won't heal fast. They take about 7-8 months to heal. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.